Did you guys have a good off season? Yeah. Who's ready to play? Who's ready to play?
Dave's ready to play. He never gets a chance to play.
Never.
If we can get
Play
him
for bags all winter.
out of the light, we'll be fine.
I gotta leave exactly at 8 to go play bags.
So we need to take it until 8:01. And Dave's gonna be late. As of right now, when we have 17 last year, we lost one team. Key 3 Teabaggers. We lost them.
Really?
So we lost them, so now we're down to 16. Dave had contacted me about secret pits at the VFW. Dave has been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing with them to get a couple teams out there. He said that the pits are pretty nice. They probably could use some playing on, but you know, it is what it is, right?
VFW mechanics.
So he talked to me today. I think him and I are going to plan to go over there, sit down and talk with them. Maybe I'll get a couple flyers put up and see if we can drag a couple teams out of there.
One thing I could suggest is they got that huge monster sign.
Yes.
Every time I go by there, they're not looking for teams. So, I mean, you know.
Sure.
I don't know if they can actually pull from the public or how the VFW
Oh, how the
works.
VFW, yeah, we can talk to them about that, on how it works. I mean, there's probably enough people that go there that are
They're
probably,
open to the public, and, you know, they had that big $1 million,
yeah,
you know, that was
Quick
people
cleanup
from
house.
Minnesota that are coming in, so it's not a members only thing. So.
right. So, so Dave and I are gonna try to push to get a couple teams out of there. Anybody that's interested in playing, have them contact me. Even if they don't have a place to play, we can probably get someone over there to get them to play over there. That's not a big deal.
East Shore has plenty of pits.
So, so there's that. We did have a fall meeting. What happened in the fall meeting wasn't all that bad. Don't ask me where my notes are because I have no fucking idea. I know we talked a lot about handicap, right? That was the biggest beef of the entire season, right? I get it. We're gonna figure that out. And keep in mind that it wasn't so much team captains that I was hearing it from as it was players. As team captains, it's your guys' responsibility to communicate to your players. When handicaps get chosen for the year or whatever, I don't hammer down on that. That's on you guys. You guys vote on that. Every single one of you guys are in this meeting to vote on that stuff. So when I have a player that comes up to me and yells at me because the handicap is crappy, that's not my fault. This is your guys' league. This is your league. It's not my league. And I'm not coming in here as a young guy playing with guys that I play horseshoes with that I look up to and gonna take this league from you. That's not how it is. I want this your guys' league, and that's what it's gonna stay. So I don't want to come in here and have anybody think that, oh, this young guy's coming in here and he's just gonna run the show. No, this is your guys' show. I want it to be your show. And we're gonna keep it that way. So, I know a lot of us, we probably didn't get the rules last year. I have the rules here. I mean, we know pretty much how everything goes. If you guys want me to read through them, I can.
Did we change the lineups?
Yeah.
The lineups.
As far as
Fiasco from last year.
Oh,
plays what?
so, you're talking about like the score sheets?
Yeah.
The way the lineup goes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go back to the old way it was before.
Now, my suggestion is going back to 2017.
What is
Oh, I'm
that?
not that old.
And make sure the substitutes is set up.
Right.
So,
Matches with
20,
the.
20, I'll say, Ed, I'll find my 2017 if, I know I have.
so keep in mind
It's
that
already in.
the way that sheet, the way this year's sheet panned out, it was just laid out differently, right? I know there was a lot of,
Excuse me, come on in. Do I know you?
No.
Our division
is that all cleared up
Could
too?
I,
I'm sorry?
Divisions, how you organize the divisions, cause last year that screwed up.
So, we're gonna get to that,
Yeah.
okay?
here's what happened with that. Because people were using the old,
Old sheet,
they were using the new lineup sheet, and then they were using the old sub sheet,
Yep.
and ended up with playing one person more than twice.
and then that sub sheet ended up
Wait a minute,
we
wait a
had,
minute, wait a minute. There's no rule against that.
Well,
I could
there should
play
be.
against you 6 times.
And I would like to change that.
We did
I would
once, and
suggest
it-
to change
We
it.
did once, and
You're
then once
here,
it,
you're here to bring that up
Yeah.
when we get to that, bring it up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
I would.
Should we get to it?
so we'll just kind of buzz through. We get to a discussion point, let's discuss it, okay? And then we vote on changes, we'll vote on changes, I'll make notes, and then I'll rewrite the rules. Okay, we'll do it that way. Does that sound good?
sure,
So, season consists on determined number of weeks based on league play, last year we started April 21st, ended at September 1st, okay?
We started late.
yeah.
We started late last year,
We did start a little late last year.
and it was cold
And it was
as
cold.
hell.
Yep.
I think things are, this
I
year's.
think we missed the warm weather because it was a couple weeks prior.
Yeah, it was. It was on the normal start date.
It's cold.
That's fine, I'm well.
Small.
As for tournaments, I mean, tournaments are gonna be the same, they're gonna get announcements and all that. I'm hoping to talk to Pete and maybe get the schedule, at least try to see if we can get a tournament schedule. And then I can be like, okay, here you go. You know, so it's not like the last week of a tournament. So if we can get a schedule laid out, and then you guys all know, and then everybody can kind of,
I've already gotten, people talking to me on Facebook, trying to figure out when
yeah,
our tournaments are.
tournaments are.
Yeah, and I had to tell them we don't have anything set.
So the league will be divided into 2 or 3 divisions, with playing strength being determined by playing strength of the league, right? Ending total win points for the prior year, and new additional teams determine which teams are which division. In the event of 3 divisions, teams cannot jump from the blue division to the red division, nor can teams fall from the red division to the blue division. Only the winner of the white division can move to the red division the next year, and only the last place will move from the red division to the white division. An unlimited number can still move from blue to the white divisions and vice versa.
Didn't we change that? No? Yeah, I'd like to propose a change on that one. Do the same thing with the red and the white division.
And I know,
Last place moves down, first place moves up.
and I know this was a thing last year. This was a big ordeal. And, in my opinion, I'm not gonna disagree, I wouldn't disagree with that. Where it's top team white goes to red, top team blue goes to white, bottom team blue goes to white, and then bottom team red goes to blue. Regardless of,
Goes to blue?
Regardless
or
of point total.
white, sorry, you know,
Now one.
now just moving down one division.
Yeah.
You can't go 2.
Right.
Only one team can move up, only one team can move down.
Yes.
Who's
Yeah.
the down, winners goes up.
Like last year.
Something.
I agree with that.
Right?
Now,
Like I said, the white and blue division, there should be.
Were there not 2 teams in the top division that didn't even get 50 points?
Down there, 2 up and 2.
Do you have the end of the schedule of how everybody ended up?
62 and 72.
62 and 72, and what was the top teams? Every other team had 118.
118.
So I would say that those 2 teams.
they
that
good,
were-
man?
I'm not done talking yet. Those
Sorry,
2
excuse me.
teams, those 2 teams that were in the bottom of the top division, neither one of them probably belonged there. Neither one of them, because they've either lost people or we're all getting older as we go along. We're losing our ability to throw as well as maybe we did when we were 20 years younger,
Don't point at me, I'm not 20.
or even 20-year-old guys.
But they made the point totals,
No.
What did,
the point total they made to stay in the division?
Oh, there is no point total.
Not that.
Hell no. A lot of teams that were down in the third division had,
I thought it was still on,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was still on point total.
you're
moving
gonna
on.
make those two teams look silly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And
not
then,
true,
the
right?
first division, moved down to the third division, that was just nuts.
Why we were in the white division?
So you're saying
No
only
idea.
one team
Right.
moves
We
up?
just aren't good players, but we have a good sign.
Go ahead, Tara.
Why are we in the
I
white?
don't think you wanna do it, and I'll tell you why. First off, it may take a team years to move from the blue to the white, if you only do one. Secondly, what if you have a tie? I know they play off for the championship of the division, say, I have 118, you have 118. You win the championship, you beat me 7-5.
With an asterisk.
All right, but we both were tied. You just have to be a division champion now. So I should not move up and you should because you beat me on one night.
I think we could put that in the rules.
All right.
I mean, we
Mike,
can,
No, I'd say a minimum of two.
Hey,
You're only talking about white and blue, you're not talking about red.
yeah, red's literally only dropping down.
They always have been only, for a long time. For white and blue, I think
One
it's a
team
minimum
now?
of
No, it's
two,
only
and I
been the
don't
last
see anything
few
wrong with
years.
any of all of them. I honestly don't, it's a chance for everybody to move up.
Used to be two teams moved up and down.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Never.
yes, yes.
Oh, you mean
there
into
are.
the red division?
Yes.
Oh, it used to be 2 or 3. It used to be wide open, yeah.
What I would suggest, and you can throw it out, I don't care, I'm gonna put it out there. My suggestion is that at the end of the year, like however you line up, however you end up, if you got 120 points and you're in the bottom division, and you can move up to the top division if you want, as long as your point spread is correct. And you'll be bumped out there next year. So what I'm saying is like, okay, you get to line up on however everybody ended this year. Whatever points they had, winning points, they would move up according to their point structure, whether they moved up one division or two divisions.
The bad thing about that is,
That's
the blue,
that's my
like
views.
the blue division, the teams are getting a lot of points because they're given handicap.
Right.
So if they go up and they're not getting handicapped, they're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, and the next year they'll bump right
And then,
down.
so sometimes the next year, they're gonna say, screw this shit,
It'll
turn up.
level, it'll level
So
out.
we gotta keep
No,
it
no,
real
no, the
high.
handicap already levels
Yeah,
it
we
out.
have a handicap.
Handicap's already leveling that out.
Exactly.
Hey, time out. Do not base anything off of last year. Do not.
No,
Last year
I was totally screwed.
was not a year that you can base anything off of right now, right? And the reason I say that is there were teams that were in divisions that didn't belong in divisions that they belonged in.
You're right.
I'm saying that right now.
Here, here.
You can absolutely, I know you guys, as much as you guys want to sit here and talk about last year, forget it.
Okay, cool.
Last year,
Don't repeat it.
last year, think of last year as 2020, pass it on and move on.
Well, the white and the blue just flip-flop, that's all it was, and
That
that's
was-
what the difference.
And that was the biggest
Yeah.
factor
Exactly,
of that whole ordeal.
and it was all heavy.
I'll tell you right now, my team is not a blue division team. We are a white division team, and we don't deserve to play the guys that are in the white, some of the teams that were in the white division for them to give me points.
Yeah.
Knowing damn well we were gonna smoke their ass,
Yeah.
because we are literally a white division team, right? Terry and Pete did not belong where they belong.
Yes.
Here, here.
Cheers.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you right now,
Get rid of them.
I was just gonna volunteer.
I'll buy a
And
round.
and I'm not speaking as a president, right? I was speaking as a player and a captain of a team that knew damn well they didn't belong in that division, right? So, in my opinion, what we need to do, okay, we have our starting positions of where we're at this year already, right? We need to let that play out. Because the biggest factor is the teams are now where they belong to start, right? Where we should have been last year is where we're at this year. We need to start fresh where we're at here, figure out our handicap, and then figure it out from there. I understand where you're coming from, but I'll tell you what, we're not a terrible team, we still play you guys, and you still kick the shit out of us. So, I get it,
It
right?
wasn't fair.
And
It wasn't fair.
and I understand where you're at, but we were also in the blue division getting way more points than what we should have been, right?
Yes.
So, like I said, last year, we need to eliminate that from our minds, and we need to literally start fresh this year, because our teams are where they need to be. I believe there was a red team that dropped, right? There was a red team that came down, we moved a red, and a white team up.
Yeah, we're too brand new, we just moved up, we were brand new though.
Right, but you earned it.
Are we gonna discuss these things like point by point as you go along, or, cause I've got 3 things I wanna bring up.
That's fine, yeah.
So like,
We're coming back tomorrow night?
so,
Sorry, Dave, you're gonna miss lunch.
Now it's 4 things.
so, I just wanna say, okay, I understand where everybody's coming from, forget last year, start fresh this year, so we can figure it out, right? Teams are where they
Let's take a
belong.
vote on that then right now, so we,
Are you guys okay with that? Are you guys okay with, we can take a vote on that right now? Start where we're at right now. Teams have moved, right? I think majority of the white and the blue moved. The one bottom red moved down, and the white moved up, right? That's, I mean,
That's,
by the
that's under
rule,
normal rules, right?
that's
So why would
under
we vote?
normal,
Yeah.
normal legit rules,
That doesn't,
right?
that doesn't need a vote. So.
In,
Doesn't need a vote.
in it, so, on that note, we leave that where it's at.
Right.
Let the year play out, because where's the big bitch gonna come, right? When we get to the handicap. Because that's where we're gonna have to figure it out, right? And that's where a lot of the deciding factor is gonna be how these divisions are gonna move, right? That's how you're gonna find out if you're staying within in the points range of that particular division, if you wanna call it that.
You can't take the handicap off. That's what it's there to do.
Right.
It's there to even.
Yeah, nobody's looking to take that away, so.
On the handicap,
Go ahead, Chair.
there's only 1 or 2 bad teams in this league.
What about
Everyone's
these
pretty good.
you on one of them?
Of course I am.
Well,
I've been looking for you for a couple of years.
Okay.
I've been looking for you for a couple of years. I mean, come on, pretty
My
much.
gym, there's no
What was your
bad
point? I'm
teams,
sorry,
bad players.
I just,
So,
Like, we changed
Well,
not only 2.
the handicap doesn't need to be that high. It
So,
doesn't.
well, you have a list of the new regime.
Yeah, it's supposed to be serious thing.
Like what teams are we up?
We got teams here that should be in
I
the
just like to
red
see it.
division, are historically.
I'm in.
Historically in the red.
so,
That's what he's talking about, sorry.
So Terry brought up new teams. New teams always came in on a blue division. They always came in on blue division. I mean, I've been in the league now for 3 years, I think, and every new team that's ever came in has been on the blue division. They start there, and they win it, then they move up.
blue.
Right,
Based on playing chances.
correct.
Maybe we end up at 18 and you got 3 6s.
Well, actually,
Shouldn't have never started.
I started
The
because.
new team comes in, it's gonna toggle something between the white and blue players, most likely.
Right.
And we,
So, that's fine, that's fine. That's how the rule's written right now.
Right.
We get 4 new teams, they're all in.
Yes.
People play.
Yep.
It could be a peak team, it could be our team.
It could be an overloaded division.
Blow them away, so now you're looking.
Well, that's the reason I asked that.
Let's all pray for that division.
The reason I asked is because we're discussing one moving up, one moving down, 2 up, 2 down. If they bring in new teams, let's say you get, you guys, I don't remember Tommy Enders. Tremendous pitcher, all right? We had 2 teams. Two teams that were like him, and they start the blue division, only one can move up, guess what, the other team's gonna win it next year.
Okay.
I mean, understand what I'm saying? You don't know who you're getting when you get 2 teams. And that's
Very strong
They
team.
can be a lion.
For sure.
Yeah, they can have, for sure.
You get the
So
old
they're gonna win the title that year?
Well, you got Tommy Enders.
Then they can only go to the,
Yeah, that is, move on.
then they can only go up to the white division.
Tommy Enzer, shoot.
I remember.
Get out of town.
You brought in a strong team.
They can only move 1 division.
Oh, my God.
Then you got a Dynamo coming in.
Everybody knows.
Oh, my God.
We don't even know we got this team up north.
So, you know, this does talk about the new team. We do get into a little bit of handicap talk here, okay? 3 division play, red, white, and blue based on team rankings, yada, yada, yada. Strength is 20 more teams. New teams will be placed in the blue division. For handicapping purposes, new team year total, total year-to-date game and total points for the first week will equal to the average of the blue division, right? So they just get whatever the averages of the blue division, whatever we figure out.
Sounds
That's to
fair.
start the year.
And that's just literally start the year, yeah.
Sounds fair.
So, and they only get a max of 14, but that'll probably whatever. So,
That's so we don't overwhelm them.
right. The interdivision play with the remainder of the season and interdivision play, each team will not play against a few number of teams up to 4 from each of the other divisions depending on captain's approval and league play strength. Okay, so that's just like 3A. 3B, 2 division play, that we don't have to worry about that because we're not going to have 2 divisions. So, number 4, if a new team has 2 players returning from the previous year, they will be considered the original team. However, if a team splits up into 2 different teams with 2 original players, the previous captain's team will have the first option to remain the original team and the other considered a new team. So that's probably been in the rule for a long time.
And that's been enacted too, so
Yeah.
it worked out fine.
5, starting time each night 7:30 with 15-minute grace period. Match consists of 2 games. Team can play with 3 players under the 3-man roster rule, which is matched played until the team has 4 players. 3-man roster rule allows a match to be played with only 1 person pitching against 2 players. The single player pitches against a scheduled opponent with no teammate pitching back. The shoes are simple, simply walk back to the single player, and the only player with no opponent can score on a return pitch. Make sense? Easy peasy.
He's a married player.
Huh?
He has to be single?
It's a single player if you're
Oh.
only playing.
You only got 3 guys.
If you only have the 3 guys.
Not married.
Not married, yeah.
Okay.
But you don't have an argument with your wife at night.
Good job, Steve.
Number
What's
6.
your life partner?
Away team enters its lineup on the score sheet first. A player can only play with the same teammate twice in one night. A team can use a maximum 6-man roster each night. When players are temporarily replaced by substitutes, the players must return to the position from which he was substituted. If player 1 is... Huh?
The Tom Annan rule.
Yeah.
If player 1 rule is substituted, he must return to the number 1 slot when re-entering. A player cannot play or sub for more than 1 team. The rule has no impact on how many times the same opponent can play against any particular individual. So that's the rule.
Yeah, you can play it with
Say that
anyone. Yeah, your
So-
sub can.
There is no
Your
rule.
sub can play it.
This rule has no impact on how many times the same opponent can play against any particular individual.
You just can't play
Anybody.
with.
You just can't play with the same partner.
Right.
So if I'm throwing good that night, Jim, and I'm playing you, and I decide to be a sub,
You're gonna get you straight.
Yeah, you can follow him.
I can follow
You can play him 4 times.
I can play you up to 4 times with a different partner.
Okay, here's what I would like to suggest.
Yeah.
We have the thing where you're not
Like
supposed to
teams.
play the same person twice, right? Isn't that a rule in there?
No.
It's
Teams.
it's teams. I can't throw with my teammate more than twice.
Right.
So you do all 6.
Then my thing is that I would like to suggest that a sub can't do that anymore either. You can't just, I don't think that you should be able to put a sub in just any damn place you want, have them play the same person 6 times. When
The
they
sub
go
can't
to
throw
be-
with his partner.
There is a small limitation to that, so it's not anywhere. You just can't throw them anywhere, but there is a limitation of who he can play with, but not against.
But not against. I
Some
can throw
can
against
play
you up
with
to
him.
4 times, but if I'm throwing with Dave, Terry, and
The other guy.
yeah, the other guy.
Is that me?
Anybody. So if we're a 5-man team and I'm a sub, but I'm throwing amazing, I can throw with all those guys twice.
Yeah.
And
I can throw against you
6 games. He can throw with you
4
every game.
times.
Yeah.
the bad thing is, if you
6 times.
if you make it, you can't play against or with, there might be a problem where you might face at the end of the night going,
Oh shit.
my sub, right now my sub can't even play because he's played with him twice and him twice.
So minimal that
Yeah.
can happen.
Oh,
It's
wait,
like you-
I beg your pardon, we tried this, you asked Mark, well, we can't, but.
We can call him.
We tried one here, and even Marty said about week 4, It's just too damn complicated to try to keep it together. No more than twice against the same opponent. Exactly what Dave said. I want to substitute in you on the fourth game, or the last game. I can't because you played against him twice already.
Right.
It's just a law of average, it's too many averages.
It's just way too complicated.
A
You wanna
four-man
try-
team playing a
It got to the
six-man
point,
team.
it got to the point,
It happened.
most teams down are saying, you know that rule about again, yeah, let's forget it tonight. That's what they did. Yeah, you have to, the other way you can't play.
It's always up to the captains.
Yeah.
So it's not, you can't throw with your guy.
It's just your partner team. And partner on the same team is more important.
You'll think everything's going fine until that
Final game.
11, game 11 and game 12, and you're like,
Dude, trust me, when I first came into the league, I followed it, and I was like, literally, I was like, you can't throw it.
it might work with six, like with two subs, but it won't work with a five-man team.
Right.
So,
Number 7, players must play directly with the opponent as matched on an official week score sheet. For example, game 1 shows A1, A2, partnering against players H1, H2, player A1 must shoot with player H1, and player A2 must shoot with H2. Home team determines which players shoot at which pick. Visiting players must follow according to schedule. Home team also determines which player shoots first. Good?
Yep.
Have we voted on changing anything yet, or?
not yet.
No.
We just read the rules and we'll come back to it, or?
There's nothing that we voted on.
We were talking about moving 1 from white to blue, and then 2 from white to blue, and then no vote on means it's exactly as it's written now, the whole blue division can move back.
Yeah, we have to come back to that one, it's,
So
All
let's
right,
get it
if
done
that- if
now.
you wanna change that,
We can go back to that. I mean,
we're just reading it, we'll go through the rules and we'll come back to what we wanna change, that's fine, I don't know.
I could put I'll do, alright. So we gotta come back to rule 3. We'll come back to that one. Each team will play 12 games to 21 points. Each game will be worth 1 point for a total of 12 points per night. If a team drops out of the league, the team will be considered a forfeiting team and called a bye team. All previous played matches will be adjusted to receive points according to the following. The team playing the forfeiting team will earn the average of their last 3 weeks' wins, or the average of the forfeiting team's last 3 weeks' losses, whichever is higher, with a guaranteed high of 6 points earned. When the league starts the season with an odd number of teams, there will be bye nights. Bye night points earned will be the average wins for the last 3 weeks, or a guaranteed 6 points, whichever is higher. To determine the year-to-date points, a minimum of 3 weeks must be played in the current year. If not, the last 3 weeks' average from the previous year will apply, regardless of a forfeit or a bye. Year-to-date points will be the average of the last 3 weeks. All good there? Don't need to change nothing?
Oh, good.
For intra-division play, each division will spot the difference in standings for handicap according to the standings at time of play. First place team versus fourth place team. First place team will spot 3 points. Here we go.
I'd like to know how everybody felt about that. Did that work out, or is that too?
Nobody, I can tell you right now, from what I heard, everybody hated it when we went to inter-division play. And the reason they hated it during inter-division play
Give up 3 or 1.
was because your second place team could have been could have had, essentially had 10 points, but they weren't gonna get it, or whatever, however it worked.
That's right.
They weren't gonna be able to make up ground.
We could have got 10 and we only got 2.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna have a harder time making up a difference.
You should have shot better than
And in my opinion, I think it's a little lame, because when you're the top 2 teams, if I'm the second place team, I want something to come in to play for, right? Knowing that I'm coming in, that I have no chance, what does that do for me? As a not just a player, but as a team. That doesn't do anything for me.
There should never not be a no chance.
There should be,
There
right.
should never not be a no chance.
So during the intra, what did you guys think of that?
Depends on what you want to go for any.
Right.
12 or 10.
And we are talking about
Well, that's, I mean, you go to 10, 12 is kinda a lot. I mean, you get a ringer that's 15 zip, 10, you get a ringer that's 13, at least you got a chance to get in there, so. It's a 10-point handicap.
Cap it at 8 or 10 or whatever.
Got cap it at
12's a
10.
little rough, I'll give you that.
Right, inside the division,
Cap it at
go inside the
12. Cap it
division,
at 8 or 10.
and then even go outside the division, okay?
That was giving points to Red.
Red division will not ever get points,
Right.
okay? That's set, cause we're good. Alright, what pisses me off is that these guys got 80 wins, we got 30, and they gotta give you 10?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That's last year, moving on.
Yeah, but it's all relative,
Alright,
Jared.
But they're
Now,
not.
now back to,
That's all
the
relative.
red division will never get 10, okay, play it straight up. There's no handicap, you play it straight up. If you got more wins than the red, then we play it straight up.
So if you're a white team and you got more wins than the red team, you play them straight up?
Yep.
But the bad thing about that is you're playing
It's the
a
same
red
thing.
division team and you're basing it off of when you played them inside of that year.
Well, it is gonna
If you
be-
face,
it is
if
what
you
it is.
face, if a team faces you early on, they get their full 10 or 12 or whatever.
Correct.
Then at the end, at week 12 or 11, another team faces you and they've gotten all those handicap points, they're ahead of you, they're playing you straight up. They're really actually playing not you, they're actually playing against their own teammate who got the 12 against you and now they're getting 0 against you. So now,
Again, that's the schedule.
And you're not
That's how
even
you
involved,
get
Jerry.
lined up on
That-
those.
that was all you-
I think the handicap should avoid that.
Yeah, but if I'm in the white division, I mean, you're talking week 1 right away.
Yeah, right away. Oh,
That's a straight up week.
We had
No
a
matter
12-point
regardless of who you're
handicap.
playing.
We had a 12-point handicap and it worked when it came down to everything else. I mean, first place could end up in fourth, and fourth place could end up in fifth, or first.
At the end of the year.
Yeah, at the end of the year, so you gotta use that 10-point all throughout. We got away from these guys getting 130 wins, and the third place team's got 100. How the fuck are we gonna get anywhere close to first or second?
Jerry, you're counting inches, man.
I mean, 130 wins is a big feat, and if you're sitting in third, you're probably under 100 wins. You ain't coming back from that anyway. Even if you had a good night, on a straight up night, and getting 12 and won them all, you're not.
You can't look at how many wins, because we've had all the way up to 172 wins.
Right.
169, it all depends on how many teams are in the league and what the handicaps were, and there's a lot of variables on it.
But we're talking within, right? So at the end of the year, we're within, right? So at a within point in range, those divisions are, I mean, the top 2 teams are pretty much the teams that are gonna be in third place. I think last year that we had a third place, we were potentially there if we would have had a solid night, but we didn't. You know what I mean? But we were also only giving 2 points to whatever, or we were giving points that night because we were playing fourth place team, right? So, but within an interdivision play, we want to make it interesting, right? So if you are in third and you're close, you want a potential to get there, right? Because you don't know what those 2 teams ahead of you are doing, but you still want to keep the teams that are down
Yeah,
here.
you wanna be within 8 to 12 games, and even 15 games.
And even then, if you're in third place, you still got to come and play your ass off because you're playing fourth place team anyway, and you're probably going to you're giving them points.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And they're going to come in, and you're probably going to give them 8.
probably.
So you're already 8 points
If they're
down.
down that below,
Yeah, they're down that
they have
low.
to
I mean,
move
that's a
up
lot.
from the white division into the red to start with.
I mean,
And they don't belong up, because they're mediocre, they're not, they don't belong in the white, they don't belong in the red. So they bounce back.
sure. And I get it.
That way.
So right now, we're standing at a difference of whatever place you're in for your handicap within interdivision play, intra, right? Do we want to keep it that way, or do we want to change it?
Could you say that again? Whatever place you're at, what?
So, if you're in first place and you play a fourth place team, you're only getting 3 points. The fourth place team is only getting 3 points when they play the first place team.
Or third place 6.
Number of wins divided by total dollars.
No, third place 6 doesn't make a difference.
Right.
Even if the max could be 6.
The max is 6. Or
So there
whatever.
is a maximum.
Even if they're playing a team that they're 40 games ahead of you, you're still gonna get like 3 or 4 points.
Correct,
Right.
because it's based off of divisional standing.
And that's correct. My opinion, that's correct.
Can I put a caveat on that, the whole discussion before we even vote on the handicap? This is something that Mike, when he was president, had the idea. We're basing a lot of stuff off of 1 year. Whatever we decide to put into act, 2 years. You're not gonna get any kind of
And
feedback.
I agree with that.
Whatever we decide on today should be for the next 2 years, for the handicap only.
And I like that idea because it's hard to determine if a handicap actually works.
Because you have teams moving up, teams moving
Right,
down,
and
and
they're
then the
constant.
second year, you'll see what happens.
You actually get an idea of, and I had that conversation with you.
He had it with me back in 2009-ish,
Yeah.
or 2013 or something like that.
So with that,
1868, did he say?
so I guess I can add that in.
So,
It's gotta be voted on.
before you go any farther, so why not let this last time go 2 years?
You're
Well, that would be a
Before you change it.
crazy.
Why wouldn't you want me to win a game?
So you can see if it works.
I love to win a game.
Hold on,
Give it a chance.
Willie has a great idea. Do you know why? Because everybody is where they belong. That's what we were saying before.
Right, right.
See what happens another year, right?
So we're in the white division and we're getting smoked by guys in the blue division. How are we, where
You suck.
They do suck. I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it.
Come on.
The entire, like, I believe the entire blue
You gotta
division,
practice.
except for one team moved up from last year.
I'm gonna play guys that have 60 wins on me and I'm giving them 6 points.
The white and blue division flipped this year.
Yeah, we're done.
Why did you guys do
Again,
that?
and the year before that.
I wasn't here
So-
last
Don't
year.
even worry about that.
Never mind, we're moving past last year, right?
Everybody, yes, everybody from last year, we're back to the where we were 2 years ago. Is essentially where we're at. So with what Willie had said, we could literally take this year and see how it pans out, right? That would be our 2 year.
See how it works.
Without making a change. And again, I'm okay with it. Now, do we want to make slight changes? We can, whatever. This is you guys.
Or do you want Willie Watson for mayor?
I think he's,
Of Chicago.
we should change the interdivision,
Really Lightfoot.
change the interdivision and go with maybe a max of 8 or 10 or whatever.
I was gonna say,
Can we finish one?
I know you say 10, Jerry.
Yeah, 10's good.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
2.
10.
And you can tweak things a little.
One gives
No.
2, one gives
Completely
3,
change.
4.
So we can double it, basically, essentially?
Basically, because yeah, the most we were given was 6.
Double it better?
Yeah.
Because if you're in second, you're on 1, you're giving 2.
Think about me.
Right?
Somebody
If
gives
you're,
you one.
if you're
You-
fourth
you
place
get up to a 10.
What's wrong with that?
and you're playing first place, you're getting 6.
What was wrong with the old way? You divide how many wins?
What was wrong with the handicap you guys used 30 years ago?
Right.
Because some guys had to give up 12 and they were great players and didn't want to do that. Cool, just fucking cap it at 8 or 10. And go back to the old school way of doing it. It was fine.
The old
It's
school
been
way.
like that way for years.
The teams.
Somebody else thinks they
Hold on,
have.
hey, hold on, yeah, hold on. The only thing I have problem with that,
I'm just saying.
hold on guys,
The handicap's always been the problem.
for what you're deciding on won't happen for somebody chasing in third place or second place chasing first place, because now they're only getting 2 or 4 points. Where Jerry is saying that if you're in third or fourth place and you're so far down that you'll need the 10
That's your
to
handicap.
get into second place or maybe even overtake
So then-
first place.
so
So
then-
what you're
Why not
proposing
better
won't, won't,
Divide by 2.
So what do we do? So if
Yeah,
Jerry's
just
playing me and I have 80 wins and Jerry has 60 wins,
It's 20.
do we take 20 and divide that by 2?
Yes.
That's
Cut that in
10.
That's
half
10.
and do a max of 10.
max of 10.
That's the way it should be.
So
And then
when
you
you play the
can-
first
you
12
can
weeks,
go
it's
to
a max of
everybody.
12.
They can go from
Same
10
for
down to
everybody.
5.
Intra, max of 10.
So do a max of 12 inner, which we'll get to that, and then max of 10 intra.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Inter, not inter. But yeah.
Good.
Inter is intra.
Anytime.
Divided by 2.
Inner is intra, that's what I said.
You said inter
In
is
your
12.
division,
Alright, I vote yes.
I'm closer to you can't hear him.
So hold on. So right now, rule number 9. This is rule number 9, how it reads. Intra-division play. Each division will spot the difference in the standings for handicap according to the standings at time of play. First place team versus fourth place team. First place team will spot 3 points. That is how the rule reads currently. Okay? So do we like the difference in the wins divided by 2 with a maximum of 10 intra?
Yes.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me write it down.
You're gonna take a vote first, though.
I know, I'm just trying to.
Let him do
write
it,
down.
Terry.
I got it.
Don't need no backseat presidents around here. Yeah.
Backseat president, while I'm dreaming of it. Some name is that.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, so. Interdivision play.
Inter or intra?
Intra.
Gotta get it right, because you're on camera.
Intra-division play. Total wins difference divided by 2 with a maximum of 10. Intra-division. All in favor?
Aye.
I need 2 names for a first, or 1 first, 1 second.
Make Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Yeah.
So we have somebody to play.
But no, just blame Jerry.
Difference multiplied by 2.
He's at hidden.
Divided by 2.
So if you're at
I used to like Jerry.
you're at by 3 points, and he's at 1/2.
Let's get to the good one.
These guys want.
So, they're basically trying to handicap.
Run the season back.
They're saying we're giving too many handicap points.
Intra-division play, not enough. Intra. We were not getting enough. So we maxed it to 10 with the difference between total wins.
And it was,
And it was whatever you were out of first, or whatever team you played. If you were fourth and you played first, you got 3. But if you're that close, if you're maximum close,
6.
Mike, no, we didn't, it was maximum of 6, yeah, because we had
Maximum
6.
6. So maximum 10
2 more weeks.
makes it more fair.
Correct. But if you're that close, Mike, like what you're saying, if you're first and second place, and you're only getting, if it comes down to a point, it's not gonna matter
It
anyway.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not gonna make a difference. Trying to get 3rd place in that mix is what that essentially is coming up to.
Jerry's trying to get 1 more championship before he dies.
Yes.
Who?
I'm trying to win before I die.
That's
You're in red
it.
division? Are you gonna live to 100? You're in red division.
If we make this rule, Jerry, you win, I'm gonna be pissed off.
2 more years, 2065.
Alright,
And then I'll see what
so-
the
That's a good point, Dave.
3 division play during all inter-division play. Red division teams will spot 6 points to white division teams and 9 points to blue division teams. White division teams will spot blue division teams 6 points. And that
We were
was changed.
6-12. We were 6-12.
No.
We tried 9.
Yeah,
Were we? I
6-12, 6.
Because we were 6-12 when I came in.
It was 6-9.
6-9 last year.
It was 6-9.
6-9.
6-9 last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
9 whites.
I think that works.
9 blue.
You guys all good with that?
No.
What?
Interdivision
As
play.
it reads is what you're saying?
Huh?
Are we good with as it reads?
Yeah, it's how it is, nobody wants, we're good with that?
You know, I kinda like the old 6-12, honestly. Red division team playing blue division team.
Yeah, but we don't have
You
any.
got the talent.
The newer players have less
If you
talent.
got more
If they do-
wins than
If they
you
do have
do,
talent,
I'm not
the
gonna
points
give
are
you
gonna be
12.
there.
Yeah, but it's in your division.
That also breaks down, the top league guy breaks down the whole thing throughout the whole league when it comes to intro.
The more teams, the more money, Jared.
So we gotta make it interesting for these other people to play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta have some competition.
So I mean, give them 10, I mean,
Have you met these young kids?
I mean.
Yo-yo, man.
They want the ringers given to them.
Coming in West End, kicking our ass.
Hey, so do I.
Right now, as we read, right now, within interdivision play, if the blue division team plays red,
Max is 9.
max is 9.
Yeah. It's fine.
So red division team will spot white 6,
Right.
9 to the blue. White division teams will spot blue 6.
Run that another year.
See how it goes.
So all
You
you
did
did.
well with down there with those guys, they would give them 9. because they're-
All
Yeah, you
you
know what?
did
You know what, Terry, you're right. They should
This
get
is the
12.
second year, all right?
All
So
you did was penalize the blue
so the
division.
first year,
They should get 12.
They should get eight.
Nobody said
All right.
that.
Alright.
I don't even.
Number 10, the winner of each division will be determined by team game points won. Plaques will be awarded at the annual league picnic.
What happened to the handicap?
You fell asleep for that.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah, you had like an
It says leave
aneurysm,
it as a,
and you were like,
Leave it as
grabbing
is.
his head.
I heard you snoring.
For this year, we all do it another thing, right?
Okay,
something up.
I never got to state my case all the way, that's what I'm.
go ahead, state your case. We're gonna go back to that. We're running right now.
Hurry up.
Going back to what?
You want 6 and 12?
Handicap.
Okay.
Who's on
Right,
first?
when we, up until last year, we were 6-12. Prior to that, we were the difference, there was no up to 12, but it was not a guaranteed 6 or a guaranteed 12. If you stay at 6-9, as it was for a decade was 6-12, white division got 6 from red, blue got 6 from white, red gave blue 12. Then we went to 6-9, did we not?
Right.
Yes.
At the behest of the red division.
Yes.
All we penalized was the red division, or the blue division.
Yeah.
All you penalized was the blue division, because white still spotted blue 6, red still spotted white 6.
Yes.
And the blue division was the ones that, because they were so good, they had a year where the higher division went up to the white.
Scored a lot of points.
You know, it's a handicap. When you're in a bowling league, you have to be a 130 average, and I'm a 220. Once in a while, you throw a 170 game, okay? You wanna continue to, attack the blue division, I'm all for it. But I think they should have a chance, just because the talent difference between red and blue is pretty significant.
So you're saying 12 for the white?
6-12.
Or 12 for the blue?
6-12
Yeah, they
is
split.
usually-
I agree.
See, the thing was, the highest, fun factor that I saw with the blue division that I saw was when they got 12. A guaranteed 12, straight from the red, and that was when the teams had the most fun and I got the most feedback that this is where it should be. And things happened and I understand that, the whole entire blue division went up into the white division and it got flip-flopped, so we changed things, but yeah.
That didn't need to
giving-
happen,
red
that didn't need
giving-
to happen.
Red,
That could have been controlled too.
Yeah.
That could have-
red did